What's going on, everybody? Anon here. And no, the crash that you think is coming is not going to happen. There is no chance it's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you why. And first of all, let's talk a little bit about theory here and concept. The bubble in 2020, 2021, 2022 was caused by the fact that people could no longer effectively spend money on bullshit, right? Going out to dinner, going to the bar, going to the movies, whatever. So all of a sudden, a large percentage of people's disposable income needed a place to go. And in that world, it went to gambling and TCG cards, right? And then all of a sudden, the doors were unlocked. People could go outside, and then that spend just evolved or just dissolved. And the reason why the Pokemon Company and Wizards and all these companies overprinted was because you have a black swan event like that quite honestly nobody can predict when it's going to end, what it looks like, etc. So you are going to be wrong. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The question isn't, are you going to be wrong? It's to what magnitude are you going to be wrong? And it just happened to be a pretty sizable magnitude. Fast forward to 2024, 2025. There's no black swan event where people all of a sudden have extra money. Sure, crypto's up, but quite honestly, it's been stagnant, a little down since the election, and that's 3 months ago. So, for the market to cool off, you either need a massive amount of product coming to the market, which isn't going to happen. Which, by the way, something super fascinating found out today. But in addition, funds would have to be diverted away from Pokemon because, again, people don't have an influx of money like they had in COVID because they're not forced to shut down, spend in any other disposable area. But spend has been directed to Pokemon from other areas by choice because a large aggregate number of people decided that, hey, they're now interested in Pokemon for one reason or another, most likely because the price of everything is through the roof. So for that to effectively turn around, you would need a significant amount of people to say, I don't really want to do this anymore. And quite honestly, I just don't see a catalyst where the price is going to move that way. And what I was going to say was interesting. I was actually speaking to somebody in distribution today, and believe it or not, it was about MetaZoo. So what was fascinating wasn't about MetaZoo per se, but it was the fact that MetaZoo, as you may or may not know, is printing in the same facility that Pokemon does. And they are limited to the number of products that they can print due to a shortage of print stock, paper stock for the cards, which I didn't know anything about. So this is news to me. So I want to spend a little bit more time researching this at some point. So I wonder if the shortage of print stock is part of the reason why we're not getting as many reprints as we thought we would. I don't know. I just thought it was fascinating. Figured I'd bring it up here. But getting back to the point at hand, this is sealed product by Best Selling. So Prismatic Evolutions. Ton of this selling. There's videos on this all the time of stuff that's selling. We're at $120. Guess what? These have just hit all of the distributors. PhD, GTS, Southern, Magazine Exchange, Alliance. And they're selling them for between $90 and $95, regardless. And you're limited to a case or two cases. Now, I'm going to go through a couple of these, and I think you're going to start to see a common theme here. So 151 booster bundles, we just had a bunch of these come to market. Not 2 weeks ago, there's a bunch of them coming forward. So these are selling at $67, $68, $69. These are coming in a little bit less, but I think that's a concerted effort to reduce the price of these, which is most likely not going to work. Surging Sparks booster boxes. These are currently selling for $199 on Walmart. When we get a restock of these, they're going to sell for between $160 to $180 at distribution. They're just going to. Blooming Waters, I can get these right now for about $85 for distribution, limited. Moving on to some of the other items. Temporal Forces. I was so happy because the boxes I've been saying are earmarked for distribution finally hit distribution today. Matt Al was one of the distributors we talked to today among all the majors, and they have a limit of 2 booster boxes. The booster boxes are priced right around $150, so call it 20% below market. So you have that. UPCs available for $270, or I'm sorry, for $260. Now, not a big discount to market. Charizard Ultra Premium collections, which I thought were dead, $205. Again, everything from distribution, and it's consistent across the board, is coming in at between a 25 and 33% discount to market price. Some of the items are coming in less than that. But the reason why we've had significant declines in the market in the past is because a lot of items will come out to distribution, and there'll be so much margin priced into them. It's a race to the bottom. We see this in Magic the Gathering with the Commander decks that just reprinted. The Bloomberg Commander displays were $300 and some bucks. They hit distro at 108 to 130, depending on the distributor. So it was a race to friggin' zero, because there's a bunch of boneheaded LGSs who are like, oh, I like money. I'll make an extra $30 on these, when you can sit on them and probably make an extra 150 at some point in time. But that can't happen here, because the basis price for all of these new items, it's priced so high. And, I don't know if it's just a coincidence that all of the distributors are priced around the exact same price point, or if it's some sort of range that's been pushed by Pokemon. Quite honestly, I don't want to say fixed prices, but create a floor on price. Because look, if I'm buying Prismatic Evolutions ETBs at $90, I have to sell them at $120 or higher, or I'm not going to make any money. Which means that the price of these is going to have to go higher, because there's not going to be anybody left to dump the product at some point. I mean, the booster packs are basically $13 a pack, which means the ETBs are underpriced, especially with the promo in there that, it's a pretty badass promo. You look at Paldea Evolved. There's booster bundles for $40 right now on Walmart being sold by GT Collectibles, which is owned by MJ Holdings. It seems like they're getting their product first before it goes to distro, but Little Birdie told me that Paldea Evolved, Paldean Fates bundles are coming to distribution the next 4 to 5 weeks. And the price of those, it's probably going to be damn close to $40 per. Yeah, they're certainly not coming at 16 or 20 or whatever they were initially. So the pricing is so tight on these items now, it can't possibly crash unless there's some sort of massive event where everybody just starts hoarding money and locking the doors. It's just not going to happen. Surging Sparks booster bundles, they're going for $45. These have hit the market right around $35. And they're limited. So, none of these items are going to go down, because the cost basis from distribution, LGSs aren't desperate like they were in the last 12 months ago, 18 months ago, where all they needed to do was churn money for cash. Those days are gone. It doesn't exist anymore. So most LGSs, they're going to buy a product for $90. They're going to have to price in 25%, 20% margin, whatever the number is. It has to happen. And quite honestly, if they don't have to buy the product, because you can't buy a lot of it. So they're just going to choose to not buy it, or buy it and mark it up to the point where they need to, and it's going to sell when it's going to sell. That's what the fascinating thing of all this is, especially if we look at some of the booster boxes. Let's go to Paradox, because Paradox is an interesting one. So Paradox, there's a ton of these out there. Yeah, there was a ton of them that went through distribution in October, etc. Um, but these are all priced at $160. And it's not that thousands of these all of a sudden sold. It's the fact that everybody pulled them off the market because the pricing is going up. So, we are a handful of boxes from $170 per. LGSs don't have to dump product because they're relatively healthy. Whether it's Pokemon, whether it's Magic the Gathering, they're reasonably healthy. There's traffic flowing through them, so they're selling ancillary things. In addition, distribution has increased the floor price on what they're selling stuff to in the secondary market by an absolutely astronomical amount, where based on the current price, they're selling for a 20 to a 33% discount to market. So there is not an air pocket of pricing. It doesn't exist, and it is not going to happen. So those of you waiting for the crash to come, best of luck to you. It's not going to happen. Speaking of, Battle Styles sold out on Pokemon Center now. Put my video out yesterday, sold out today. The Brilliant Stars building battle stadiums, they're going to be next. And then Stellar Crown is going to be after that. Now, I would be surprised if Temporal doesn't sell out soon, because now that I see the booster boxes in distribution, I would imagine the Pokemon Center quantity is down pretty significantly. In addition, we did run a sale today. We did get a reasonable allocation of Surging Sparks and 151 booster bundles. Just sold it to the Discord on the retail website. So if you want to participate going forward, and we'll try to get larger and larger chunks there. Yeah, just to thank the community. Join the Discord, like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and we'll talk later. Have a good one.